Welcome back everyone to a new weekly market update. Let's dive into the latest moves across stocks and crypto this week. The S&P 500 continues to hold above its February highs. Despite some market volatility, equities remain resilient as traders await the release of Federal Reserve minutes and key economic data later this week. One of the main drivers we're watching is the global liquidity cycle. The Bitcoin and M2 money supply chart shows liquidity is still rising, even though we recently saw it dip almost 25%, although it quickly rebounded, giving crypto markets plenty of fuel to continue grinding higher for now. The dollar index is sitting in the risk-on zone around 97.98. Historically, dips in the DXY align with Bitcoin strength, and we're seeing that correlation play out again. A weaker dollar is giving markets more confidence to move into risk assets like crypto. Looking at Bitcoin's fair value, it spent most of last week in the very expensive zone before dipping slightly toward the expensive region. The key support I'm watching is 114,000, marked by the weekly candle bodies. If Bitcoin holds this support and pushes toward 125,000 level, but then loses this level and goes back to 114,000, that could signal a cycle top forming. On the other hand, if Bitcoin consolidates instead of breaking down, that opens the door for capital rotation into Ethereum and altcoins. Also, I would not consider this candle as a cycle top candle as long as I don't see a bearish high time frame signal like the RSI divergence on monthly candles. I am watching these high time frame indicators closely and will adjust my market predictions accordingly. Ethereum remains in its fair value zone, anchored around the 200-week moving average. The crucial level for Ethereum is around $4,300. If Ethereum closes below this, it risks falling back into the previous range. Staying above it would confirm the breakout and allow upside continuation. We have already seen a similar setup in 2022 when Ethereum avoided a major breakdown by holding above its breakout range. After this downtrend, Ethereum climbed up, and instead of testing the 1000 area, it just kept going up. It is possible that we see the same pattern in our cycle top. It is especially important that we stay above the range and not return to it. Also keep in mind that the cycle top can be steep, just like we saw here with the bottom. Of course, this pattern would be inverted. Ethereum continues to outperform Bitcoin, and Ethereum to Bitcoin is climbing steadily. This strength is spilling over into altcoins, as Bitcoin dominance trends lower, currently around 59%. Historically, dominance drops last about 5 weeks, like in the previous cycle, and we're only in the week 2, meaning altcoins could still have room to run. The crypto total market cap, excluding the top 10 altcoin index, shows healthy structure. On higher time frames, confirmations remain bullish. Meanwhile, the crypto fear and greed index sits at 57, back in the neutral zone. For context, cycle tops historically happen with readings above 85 or 90, which suggests we're not there yet. Markets are also watching the Fed. September's rate cut odds stand at 48%, but the latest FOMC minutes highlighted ongoing inflation concerns. Powell has resisted market pressure for early 2025 cuts, keeping volatility subdued. On the crypto side, spot ETFs saw modest outflows after a record volume week, but this shows big players are not leaving, they are just consolidating their positions. The key takeaways for this week are: markets remain in risk-on mode despite lower volatility. Bitcoin consolidation in the expensive region is healthy. Watch the 114,000 support zone closely. Ethereum strength and falling Bitcoin dominance favors altcoins. The sentiment is neutral for now, and the volatility is low. The market is definitely not euphoric, so there are no signs of a cycle top for me yet. Smaller cap altcoins may see outsized moves if Bitcoin holds range. So overall, I remain cautiously bullish on altcoins while watching Bitcoin's key support level and the Ethereum support level. Don't try to perfectly guess the cycle top. Reversals can be sharp and unexpected. Trade carefully and let the market show you the direction. That's all for this week's update. If you found this useful, make sure to subscribe and follow along for the next week's macro and crypto breakdown.